Yes. All right, guys, let's go into Module 3, Power BI Project, which is managing relationships. Now, this is not a nice to have skill. This is the difference between a report that's correct and one that lies to you. If your relationships are wrong, your totals are going to be wrong. Your slicers act weird and your visuals contradict each other. And you end up making bad decisions based on bad math. So today, you're going to load the data set, inspect the model, learn how to verify, correct, and build relationships. This is foundational. Everything you build later depends on this being right. Now, this is a companion video to the Alex the Analyst video. You will see on the top of each of my slides is a timestamp that links to the analyst video. Your actual project is the Alex the Analyst Power BI project walkthrough. You will do the video with him, do exactly what he does, create your PBIX file, and then upload that dashboard that you have created. This video is for supplemental. If you need a little bit more instruction on why or how things work, this is how this comes in. Okay. Now, our learning targets for this are we're going to focus on explaining what a relationship does in Power BI. And we're going to identify a one-to-many, many-to-many, and one-to-one. We're going to choose the right cross-filter direction. And we're going to fix relationships so your visuals calculate correctly. If you can do these 4 things, you're ahead of most beginners. And honestly, you're really ahead of most people who claim they know Power BI. Okay, so let's take a look at the data. So before you load anything, you need to think like an analyst, not a button clicker. When you look at the data set, you're scanning for what tables represent things in the real world, what columns look like IDs or keys, what fields or categories or attributes, and what might cause relationships problems, anything like duplicates, blanks, or mismatch types. So here's your mindset before you even start the video for Alex Analyst. Open the Excel document, check the model. Is the model, or your model is a map. The keys are the rows. If the rows are wrong, nothing connects correctly. So pause for a second, ask yourself, what field looks like the best candidate key? Not what looks similar, I mean what is truly unique. Look at that Excel document, look at the model, and then open up and load it into Power BI. Now, once we load the data into Power BI, we're going to go through Get Data. You're going to choose your file, then you're going to load it into Power BI. If you already know the data is messy, we're going to use the transform data first. If not, we're going to load it and we'll inspect what Power BI creates automatically. Now, once it's loaded, you're going to need to confirm you see your tables in the field plane, confirm nothing has failed, and confirm the column names look like what you expect. If the tables don't load correctly, don't keep going hoping it fixes itself. It won't. The Power BI will often try to create relationships. Now, sorry, once you get in here and stuff's loaded, Power BI will try to create relationships automatically. Sometimes it gets it right. Sometimes it makes a confident, incorrect decision. A lot of times, much like a student who didn't read the directions. So here's the rule. Auto-generated does not mean correct. It means Power BI guessed. So go into our model view, manage relationships, and inspect what it built. We're going to verify which columns it used. We're going to look at whether they match what we intended and whether the relationship type makes sense. Now, inside this relationship view, we have some models that are basic. In a model view, you're going to see lines connecting tables. And here's how you read them. A 1 means one side, typically a lookup dimension table. A asterisk or star means a many side, typically your fact or transaction table. A solid line means it's active. A dashed line means it's inactive. Now, active means Power BI uses the relationship by default when it calculates measures and visuals. So just a quick reality check here. Look at your tables. Lookup tables usually contain unique values like products, customers, and dates. Fact tables usually contain repeated rows like sales, transaction, events, logs. If Power BI flips those, your model gets shaky very quickly. Now, once we got the relationships, we have to get into cardinality. Cardinality is the part that causes most of the confusion in students. Cardinality is how the rows match up. We have some relationships here, a one-to-one, a one-to-many, a many-to-many. Now, a one-to-many is the best and most common. It's the one that Power BI is probably going to try to give you automatically. A many-to-many is allowed, but it's dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. And a one-to-one is extremely rare, typically for special cases only. Now, here's a simple way to decide. Which table contains a unique list and of the key? That should be the one side. If both tables have duplicates in the key column, that's when Power BI pushes you towards that many to many, and where people start getting really inflated totals. Now, cardinality has mistakes, and there are some quick fixes we can do. Here's what's here's what here's what wrong cardinality looks like in real life. Totals that are way too big, counts that don't match what you expected, slicers that behave inconsistently, and visuals that stop matching each other. When that happens, don't panic, just diagnose. Fix the logic is usually one of these. Your key columns are different data types. You're using a text in one and a number in another. Your key has duplicates when it shouldn't. So you need a proper lookup table with unique keys. Your relationship is really only as good as the key column. A bad key means a bad model. And once we got the keys in and the relationship's hooked, we're going to look at cross-filter direction. Now, cross-filter direction controls how filters flow between tables. The best practice most of the time is a single direction from lookup to fact. Now, there is a both direction, and it can create a few issues, from ambiguous filter paths, a lot of circular logic, and totals that don't behave predictably. Power BI does allow it. That does not mean you should use it casually. Your job is to keep the model clean, controlled, and predictable. Now, sometimes Power BI creates a relationship and leaves it inactive. And that's that dashed line onside your relationship view. Now, the reason why is because there are multiple potential paths between tables, and Power BI won't guess which one you want. So to activate, you go to Manage Relationships, select the relationship, make active. Then this is important. I want you to verify the impact. Build a quick visual, test a slicer, see if it changes in a way that makes sense. If the visual setting looks wrong, that might mean the active relationship you chose is not the one your analysis needs. Now, we can do this all manually. That is where you take full control. You can drag a key from one table to the matching key of another table. Then you can set the cardinality, you can set the cross-filter direction, you can set the active status. Now, for the best practice, your keys need to match in data type. The lookup table key is unique. Avoid a many-to-many unless you can justify it, and keep cross-filter direction single unless you have a clear reason otherwise. This is how you build models that don't collapse later as they grow. All right, so let's close this out. Here's what you should walk away with. Auto relationships are starting points, not a solution. Always check. Cardinality controls correctness. Cross-filter direction controls behavior. And active versus inactive affects what Power BI calculates. So before you submit that PBAX file, do a sanity check. Relationships look logical, mostly one-to-many. Slicers filter visuals correctly. Totals aren't inflated or obviously wrong. And nothing looks off compared to basic common sense. Then follow Module 3 submission instructions and upload your PBIX as required. If you can manage relationships, you can build real dashboards. If you can't, you're just really decorating charts. Guys, if you need something, let me know. Otherwise, check out the Alex the Analyst video. Use this as a backup if you get stuck and want a little bit more information on what these words mean. Have a very fruitful day. Bye, guys.